Lunatic Women on Paternity Court.
Why would you let somebody sign a birth certificate?
I didn't let you. You did it on your own.
How did he do it on his own? Did the hospital get the information from you?
No, they asked him, was he the father? And he told them yes.
Do you have feelings for this other guy?
No, I don't. I
You
mean,
don't?
if he's the father, I'm gonna let him be in his life. I'm not gonna keep.
Mr. Howard invited me to a Howard family reunion.
Lies.
That is a
Lies.
total lie.
Looking at this couple, you could tell they just weren't meant for each other. Mrs. Johnson dragged Mr. Johnson to court on the matter of him not being a good dad. Was Mr. Johnson having any of it? Hell no! Let's get this parenting drama on the road, shall we? Mr. and Mrs. Johnson have been at each other's throats for quite some time now. Having been married for up to 7 years, their marriage has crash-landed from a state of bad to worse. And the shocking thing here, it's all because of their 12-year-old kid. Trust me, it's crazy!
Now, Mr. Johnson, you admit that your marriage is at its breaking point, but you argue that it's because your wife undermines your authority and allows her 12-year-old son to disrespect you.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mrs. Johnson went on and on about how Mr. Johnson wasn't threatening both of their kids. In her words, he had a favorite one.
He shows blatant favoritism. I'm angry. I just want my kids to feel equal. I want my oldest son
When you
to
say he
feel
shows
loved.
favoritism,
You can bet Mr. Johnson wasn't just going to let her run her mouth. He comes in like a blazing inferno, telling her she's to be blamed. It's like a war zone in the courtroom.
For an example, I put my kids in baseball. He would participate in our son Ethan's, and he would never participate in Elijah's.
That's not true
That
at all.
photo right there was Elijah's birthday, and I took him to the go-karts, and he was supposed to meet us after work and didn't even show up.
As they kept trolling each other in the courtroom like it was another WWE wrestling match, mind-blowing revelations started to pop out. Believe me, these revelations will leave your jaws dropping from your mouth.
My son, we took like a safari ride, and he said, oh, well, me and Ethan will ride on this one, and you and Elijah can ride on that. And it just hurts my son's feelings because he never shows that extra step to where...
She doesn't enforce me as a father figure. I'm the father
because
that's
he's
there.
been in his life since he was 2
I have
years
been there,
old, and he
exactly.
should take
If I've
that
been there
extra
this
step
long-
on his own.
After Mrs. Johnson was done throwing shades at her husband in the courtroom, it was Mr. Johnson's turn to spill the beans. And my God, did he have a lot to say about Mrs. Johnson and their 12-year-old boy. It was like a love series that was unending.
Elijah is disrespectful to me, to
Yeah,
her,
but he's
to
disrespectful.
everyone.
It's
To
'cause-
everyone.
The rants go on, and Mr. Johnson keeps pouring out his mind like a wounded lion. Does it end there? Of course not. Mrs. Johnson, filled with rage, jumps into the ring again and starts throwing shots at her husband. She even calls him a kid! These two can't wait to rip each other apart in the courtroom.
He disrespects everybody. He disrespects his brother. He disrespects me, his mother. He talks back. When me and him were left alone, with me, him, and my other son, and they're fighting for about 2 hours straight, nonstop. She comes home, I tell her what happened, I tell her that they're not listening, and instead of disciplining the kids, she fights with me.
He's the one acting like he's 12, too.
Mrs. Johnson's dad walks up to the stage and drops bombs on bombs, countering every single word Mr. Johnson says. It was almost like her dad was her husband's biggest oppie.
I see Elijah being left out on a lot of things. The ice cream, you ask Ethan to pick up your room. It's like, would you pick up your room? What's wrong with you? Why don't?
So why aren't we here for the way you talk to Ethan?
You know, talk to him like a human being, not like an animal that did something wrong.
Man just stood there, throwing heavy blows at Mr. Johnson. It was a tug of war, and nobody wanted to be beaten. Knowing Mr. Johnson, you could bet he was ready for his comeback. As soon as Mrs. Johnson's dad was done talking, boom! He came with his comebacks that hit like bullets shot by a firing squad.
Wait. Doesn't that go
you're
for
his
both?
grandfather.
Doesn't
Yes.
that go for both kids, though? Wouldn't that go for both children, not just Elijah? Like, what Ethan, my son, he does the same thing. He babies Elijah. Oh, it'll be
You
okay.
shouldn't yell at Ethan
oh, it'll
either
be
like
okay.
that.
You yell at him. Your daughter will admit
So
it.
now you're saying...
The moment of truth was finally here. But the air was thick with uncertainty as to whether their marriage was going to be saved or shattered for good. Time to see what the future holds for them. I hope you guys are ready.
Is it safe to say that we're going to work on this marriage?
Yes.
Yes.
Wonderful. So we won't be needing this, right?
Right.
Fantastic. Court is adjourned.
So, Mr. Ahmad, our dear plaintiff, thought he hit the parenting jackpot, only to be crushed under a shocking revelation. But now he was here ready and charged to get this baby girl back. Buckle up, it's a wild ride! So the baby daddy was over the moon with the baby news. And by the looks of it, the poor guy had been waiting a long time for this to happen.
This is to be my first child, so I was overjoyed. She was high risk, so she couldn't work. So what I did, I tried to do as best as a man that I could do.
So the doubts and reservations surrounding the whole situation were killing him. Whether Mr. Ahmad was happy or not, Miss Day, on the other hand, had a ton of commitment issues. She was calling it a friendship, but did not feel the love in whatever these guys shared. Ouch. It's like a romantic comedy, minus the romance and the comedy.
I told him the truth from the beginning, that she might not be his. He said he wanted to be her father and he would be there for us.
Talk to me about the relationship from your point of view.
It was more of a friendship for me. I loved Mr. Ahmad, but I wasn't in love with him.
Ahmad's heart is swelling with joy over the prospect of being a dad. But Miss Day? She's whispering doubts in his ear, questioning his paternity skills. It's a heartbreak in the making, and someone's gonna need a pop culture-sized tissue for this emotional roller coaster.
We never lived together.
She was at my residence every day.
That's not true. We didn't even get along that much. I was not at his house every day. We argued so much, I never lived with him.
Hold the phone now! Because it appears the plaintiff was not a goody two-shoes either. Oh yeah! Ms. Day was spilling some real tea over his behavior with her, though the baby daddy was having none of it. Cue the dramatic music, please.
I've never known another man. She's been.
That's not true.
I went to work.
When I told him,
and I
he was
came home.
intoxicated, and he kicked me out the same night that I told him.
I disagree with that because now I feel like you're trying to make me feel some kind of way.
Now, while Mr. Ahmad was living in a she might be mine nightmare, he was still involved in the whole journey. However, Mommy did not want him to sign the birth certificate. Any guesses what he did?
I was present the entire time she was pregnant. I cut the umbilical cord. I signed the birth certificate.
I asked him not to sign my baby's birth certificate until we get a DNA.
Moving on, the judge dug deeper into hospital protocol and uncovered some very interesting information. According to that policy, the father can only sign if the mother provides the necessary information. Fasten your seatbelts. We're diving into birth certificate chaos.
I put my name and her name.
But you did not put his name.
No, I did not.
At all?
No, I did not. But I gave my baby his name because he was there. The other person was not there.
It appears Mommy took a U-turn when the baby girl stopped resembling the plaintiff, though she claimed to have been truthful from the start. Her social media, on the other hand, told an entirely different story.
She looks like his kids. She looks like him. She don't look like Mr. Ahmad at all anymore.
And so, do you admit that you led Mr. Ahmad to believe that he was her biological father?
No, I told him the truth from the beginning.
Enter the second baby daddy, aka Mr. Flowers, who gave his 2 cents on the whole situation. Now he claimed to just be here for the results. However, Mommy claimed to have a much deeper connection with the guy, and Mr. Ahmad did not like that testimony. The moment of truth was finally here, but the air was thick with uncertainty. Mr. Ahmad's emotions were juggling between love for the baby and the fear of a plot twist. Time to see what the future holds for them.
It has been determined by this court. The biological father is Mr. Flowers.
Mr. Byram had no idea he was signing up for a lifetime of drama when he hooked up with Miss Morris. And my God, was their relationship more chaotic than a Mexican cartel. I hope you guys are ready for this baby daddy drama because it's going to leave you speechless. Trust me.
Byram, you say the plaintiff admitted to sleeping with another man, and when the results prove you are not Jackson's father, you plan to leave for good.
Yes, I do.
His face could tell you that he had been through the thicks and turns of a disloyal relationship. He didn't want to be part of that anymore. What was worse? He wasn't even sure if he was the father of their child. Believe me when I tell you, it was a hustle with these two.
This is the second time she's done this to me. Since we've been together, this isn't just the first time that she's cheated on me. This is the second time.
Second time, it happened once.
Ms. Morris, did you cheat on him?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, Mr. Byram, playing the detective role, had a funny feeling in his gut that his girlfriend had been messing around. He was hell-bent on proving it, so all his senses were alert like he was Spider-Man throughout their relationship. What he uncovered would leave you speechless.
At first, through the window. And then that's when I started banging on the doors and the windows. And then I go in the house. He's hiding up in the attic of her grandma's house.
How did you find him in the attic?
I started searching the house because I had a feeling that they were together.
He found out that his girlfriend had been cheating on him with one of his close friends. Hold up! The juice from this story doesn't just end there. When Miss Morris is asked if she did cheat, she doesn't deny it. I mean, was she excited that she did?
How do you end up sleeping with his friend?
We were having trouble way before I even slept with his friend. I was always constantly getting accused. He's always constantly telling me I'm cheating. It's been happening for 4 years now.
He keeps accusing you, so you just go ahead and validate the accusation?
Well, we split up for a month.
Oh, trust me, Mr. Byram was beyond pissed. He found out that his girlfriend didn't just cheat on him once with his friend. Apparently, they were in a relationship. Now that's really messed up. How do you even do such a thing? It's really unbelievable.
No.
They were in a relationship after I moved out.
We were in a relationship
They got together.
when me and him split up for that month.
No, they were together from like July all the way until November. This isn't just a month thing. This was like a 4-month thing.
I'm saying we were in a potential relationship.
Things start to spiral out of control as more mysteries behind their damaged relationship start to show themselves. Mr. Byram has been trying to bond with his kid, but it's not just working for him. Whenever he looks at the kid, all he sees is his friend's face. Ouch! That must be upsetting.
So you do admit you're having a hard time bonding with Jackson because you don't know?
I still buy him clothes and toys and do whatever for him, but I keep my distance from him because I don't know if he's my son.
The whole drama from these two gives you a lot of adrenaline rush. Miss Morris eventually admits that what she did was completely wrong, and hopefully they could work things out and be happy again. But is that what Mr. Byram wants? I very much doubt that.
I want to be with him. I do not want to be with the other guy. He constantly tells me I do, and I don't. I'm ready to basically move on with our family. I understand the mistakes that I made. I at least admitted to it. I came out and said what I did.
Well, there's no going back now. The situation is just very messed up. But the truth is about to be unleashed. It's the moment we've all been waiting for. Will they be able to save their relationship, or is this goodbye? The answers lie in front of the judge.
Mr. Byram, you are the father.
Yes. Yes.
After finding out she had a terminal illness, Miss Holshoe seeks to uncover the true identity of who her biological father is, only to find out the most shocking surprises on her journey. It's one roller coaster to the next in this episode. Let's dive right into it.
Miss Holshoe, you claim your mother had an affair with the defendant's father, and today you're in court to prove that he is your biological father. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
Now things get really heated in a matter of seconds. It felt like they all hated themselves from their previous lives. Apparently, the alleged father had passed away. But his daughters, for sure, weren't going to welcome Miss Holshoe with open arms.
Because my mother and Mr. Howard both told me that he was my father, and also family members on his side of the family have also said that I'm his daughter.
Miss Holshoe found out she had a real dad in the most awkward way. Trust me, your mind isn't going to believe what you're about to hear. Her stepdad and mom were having an argument. Boom! The bomb drops and she can't believe what she hears.
Because my stepdad was drunk and he was fighting with my mother, and he said, well, who do you think your father is? And so after that, my mother told me, and she took me and introduced me to DL, and we had a relationship from then on.
Now the sisters, for sure, weren't going easy on Miss Holshoe. They felt she was an imposter who was trying to spoil their family's name. They stood their ground and denied every single thing Miss Holshoe said in the courtroom. Trust me, it was quite a show.
They were sitting in a booth with my dad across from her and her mother. I was standing at the end, and he said, I just brought you guys here to let you know that she's your sister. And that was the one and only time that my dad ever mentioned her till the day he died.
He had never
Ever.
mentioned it to any of the rest of us.
Some really interesting stories started to fly around the courtroom. Everyone was trying to air out their minds and beliefs. In the process, some nasty revelations jumped out. Trust me, they weren't nice and some of it was just super fishy. But Miss Holshoe stood her ground.
Can I also say, when I was in California living with my father, we had packed up our things and moved out because my father had gone to at the bar where her mother was working and caught her cheating on him. That gave me
No topic.
the thought that obviously her mother probably has no idea who any of her children belong to.
The courtroom was pretty heated up at this point, with both parties throwing shades at each other. Another of their sisters walks into the courtroom. Surprisingly, she's on Miss Holshoe's side. She believes that there is a chance that Miss Holshoe is her sister. Now that's interesting, wouldn't you say?
I believe that she is.
You do. Tell the
Yes, I
court
do.
why.
Because my father told me that she was.
She just needs a family, Your Honor, because her whole family,
She
she's
did.
shut out.
Now she had quite a lot to say. Not only did she back up Miss Holshoe's claim of being their sister, she also said their father was no saint. He was also messing around with another woman. Wow!
He is our hero to this day. And I'm not going to bash him, but yes, he loved women. And that's just the way it was. Some men hunt, some men don't.
The tension was palpable. But no worries, because the moment of truth was here. Time to spill the beans on whether she was really his daughter or it was all a joke. All eyes were on the judge as she got ready to give the final verdict. Cue the mic drop.
In the case of Holshoe versus Howard, it has been determined by this court that the probability of half siblingship is 98.1%.
Now I can promise you that this particular case will leave you imagining the wildest things and asking yourself, how can this even be possible? Well, I hope you're ready, guys, because you are definitely about to be wowed. It all started in an outrageous manner, with Mr. Morris claiming to have only fathered one child out of the pair of twins that were born by his girlfriend, Miss Thorpe. Does that even make any sense? How do you father one child out of a pair of twins? Damn!
Originally, I was believed that both of them was mine. Over time, made me feel like neither were mine. And then after that, different things happened that made me believe just London was.
Now their relationship didn't particularly start off as the typical Sleeping Beauty and Princess Charming kind of story. There were loopholes, trust me, and Miss Thorpe didn't waste any time in stating them without hesitation.
I told Antoine that I wanted to be in a relationship with him, and he turned me down because he was still in love with the mother of his other child. So when that time happened, I got upset and I started messing with another guy.
Now Miss Thorpe finds out she's pregnant, and of course she tells Mr. Morris. Is he happy about it? Well, he sure is, and he seems like the happiest man in the world. But all good things don't last now, do they? Let's find out.
I was very, very happy. Like, I went all out. I bought two of everything. It cost a lot. It was bassinets here, strollers there, car seats, doing her pregnancy. Try to make her as comfortable as possible. She hungry every day. I gotta feed her.
In no time, the sweet baby daddy turned into the doubtful baby daddy. He starts asking himself questions like, are they really mine? Should I get a DNA test done? What if she lied to me from the beginning? all shades of doubt start to settle in Mr. Morris's head.
Like I said, just
All right, so you send the results in, and of course, how do they come back?
0% probability.
But you do understand that you didn't even use the swabs right.
I would just hope, I don't know.
Now finding out the twins aren't his, he texts his baby mama being all angry and furious. When he doesn't get a reply from her, what does he do? He goes to social media and posts the news everywhere, saying he isn't the kid and his baby mama lied to him. Trust me, he's one crazy person.
He actually texted me and told me that the DNA test came back and that the twins were not his. At the time, I didn't respond automatically because, like I said, I was at work. So he ended up getting very upset and ended up posting it all over social media and telling everybody.
The bombshells continue to drop and things start to blow out of proportion. Another surprise comes in. Boom! Mr. Morris wasn't the regular old Mr. Good Guy he was claiming to be. He got another woman pregnant. Oops, now that's a lot from him. Oh, trust me, Judge Lauren was about to lose her cool.
Oh, you had 2 women pregnant at the same time?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, you on team too much all the way around.
Well, the suspense is finally over, and the hassle of who the dad of their child is about to be revealed. It's been a bumpy and funny ride with Mr. Morris and Miss Thorpe. All eyes are on the judge as she unleashes the truth. Get ready, paternity folks.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Morris, you are not the father.